Loving Sai Ram and greetings from Prashanti Nilayam. In today's talk, I wish to deal with the subject of how devotees are drawn to the avatar. We don't quite know the details of how this happened at the time of Rama and Krishna, but we do know, thanks to Hemat Pant, about what happened at the time of Shirdi Baba. Not surprisingly, it is very similar to what is happening now. People often say that one can come to Swami only when he wills it. I shall comment on this point of view a bit later. But first, let us find out what Hemat Pant has to say on this topic. He is very categorical on the subject and says, and I quote, "Till such time as it is destined, Baba will not remember us, nor will even his praises fall on our ears. Where then is the question of our being inspired to take his darshan?" End of quote. This remark of Hemat Pant makes it very clear that Pantji holds the same views as is popular with many devotees at the present time. As if this is not enough, Hemat Pant adds, "Without a store of merit, no one could stay in Shirdi even for a moment. However firm one's resolve might be, all machinations failed before Baba's wish. One may well say, I will go and stay as long as I wish, but it is not in his hands to do so, for he is totally in the power of another." Many who had firmly resolved and were absolutely certain of succeeding gave up the effort, ultimately in helplessness. Sai is a deity with his own indomitable will, before whom the conceit of others falls off altogether. End of quote. Hemat Pant says that having gone to Shirdi, the story does not end there, for it is Baba who would decide who stays and for how long. This is how Pant describes it, quote, "But then, even those who by their good fortune did go to Shirdi and were satiated by his darshan and his touch, were they able to stay in Shirdi to their heart's desire? Well, it is Baba who must permit. By his own effort alone none could go, nor could one stay on, however keen his desire. One could stay only as long as Baba commanded, and return the moment he said, 'Go back.'" End of quote. Hemat Pant illustrates all this by citing many examples. There was, for instance, Kaka Mahajani of Bombay, who once went to Shirdi planning a 1-week stay. The festival of Krishna Janmashtami or Krishna's birthday was due soon, and Kaka thought he would arrive in Shirdi well in advance to participate in the pre-festival activity like decorating the mosque, etc. However, the moment Kaka arrived in Shirdi and went for darshan, Baba asked him, "When are you returning?" Kaka was quite taken aback by this question, for he had come planning a minimum stay of at least 8 days. Nevertheless, Kaka replied in a manner devotees of Baba were expected to. He said, "Whenever Baba gives the command, I shall return home." Responding to this, Baba then said, "Go back tomorrow." Kaka Mahajani obeyed Baba's command totally and with great reverence. And when he returned to Bombay, he found that his employer was anxiously awaiting Kaka. What had happened was that one of the employer's clerk had suddenly fallen ill, and there was a lot of work to be attended to. So this employer had written a letter to Kaka and sent it to Shirdi. However, by the time the letter reached Shirdi, Kaka was already on his way back to Bombay on the command of Baba. Baba, being omniscient and omnipotent, knew all this and had asked Kaka to go back even before the letter arrived, so that Kaka could be of help to his employer and earn his favor. In other words, Baba was really helping Kaka, though at that time Kaka thought sending him back was a kind of denial. I just narrated to you a tale where a devotee wanted to stay with Baba but was asked to go back almost immediately. Listen now to a tale concerning a devotee who actually wanted to make a quick return but was compelled to extend his stay. This is precisely what happened to Bahu Sahib Dhumal of Nagpur, a renowned lawyer. Dhumal came to Shirdi for what he thought would be a flying visit. He just wanted to have Baba's darshan and return almost immediately. Well, that is what Dhumal had planned. In accordance with this plan, Dhumal came from Nagpur to Shirdi. His idea was to have darshan, receive Baba's blessing, and maybe some udi, that is the sacred dash that Baba distributed the way our Swami distributes vibhuti. After this, Dhumal wanted to go to a neighboring town called Nifad, where he had to attend a court case. Thus, after he had darshan, Dhumal sought Baba's permission to return. Baba simply said no. He knew exactly what was good for Dhumal, and that was why he refused permission. Well, what was Baba's idea in refusing permission? Very simple. Baba knew that the judge who was to hear the case in Nifad was ill, and as a result, all the cases he was hearing would be adjourned. So what was the point in Dhumal going to Nifad only to find out that there would be no court hearing? Those were days in which they did not have the wonders of modern technology like cell phones, fax machines, etc. And Baba did not tell Dhumal why he was detaining him. Eventually, Dhumal was given permission to go, and when he did, he learned that by denying him permission to leave earlier, Baba had actually conferred the blessing of darshan for 10 days instead of just 1 day. And thanks to that blessing, Dhumal eventually won the case for his client. Listen now to a story wherein Baba grants the devotee's wish without the devotee even stating it explicitly to Baba. This concerns the wife of an elderly devotee named Nana Sahib Nimonkar. Back in his village, Nana was a big landlord, and since he was an important person there, the government had vested in him the power of an honorary magistrate. Both Nana and his wife were extremely devoted to Baba. When he reached an age wherein he had discharged all the major obligations of life, Nana decided to leave his native village and settle down permanently in Shirdi along with his wife. Indeed, we see the same sort of thing here in Prashanti Nilayam also. Let us now hear Hemat Pant on how this devout couple served Baba. Quote, long before sunrise, they would be up and finish their early morning bath, puja, etc. They would then come with unfailing regularity to the chowdi to perform arati at daybreak. Thereafter, Nana would stay with Baba till sunset, busy in his service, as he recited to himself various sacred hymns. The lady also would serve Baba during the day with loving devotion, doing everything in her power to be of use to Baba. If the dedicated service of these two were to be narrated in detail, this book would far exceed its limit. End of quote. That quote from Hemat Pant ought to give you an idea of how devoted this couple was to Baba. Now one day, this lady wanted to go to a neighboring town named Belapur, where her son was living. Her son was unwell at that time, and naturally the mother wanted to be with her son and attend on him. Through her husband, she conveyed her wish to Baba, who gave his consent to the trip. She now planned the trip and told her husband that she wanted to leave on a particular day. Her husband said okay, but wanted her to return the very next day. This disturbed the good lady very much for two reasons. First, she actually wanted to spend some time with her son. Next, the following day when she was supposed to return was the new moon day, and according to the prevailing custom in those parts at that time, no one undertook a journey on a new moon day. Yet, her husband, in violation of tradition, was asking her to perform the return journey on the new moon day. The lady was perplexed and did not know what to do. She prayed to Baba to resolve her predicament, which she did in his own beautiful way. It all happened like this. She finished her preparations for her forward journey and came out to go to the mosque to make obeisance to Baba. It was the custom in Shirdi that people always bowed at the lotus feet of Baba before undertaking any journey out of Shirdi. At that time, Baba had set out from the mosque to make a visit to his garden called Lendi. En route, he stopped for a brief while near a place called Satyawada. A crowd had collected there and everyone was making an obeisance to Baba. Nimonkar's wife arrived at the Satyavada when Baba was there and she too offered her obeisance. I think it is best we hear from Hemat Pant what happened next. Quote, in front of all these people and especially in the presence of Nana, Baba spoke to the lady words which were most befitting the occasion. As she lowered her head on Baba's feet and asked for permission to leave, Baba said, go quickly and let your mind be at rest. And having gone so far all the way, stay on happily in Belapur for 3 or 4 days, meet everyone there and then return to Shirdi. Baba's words coming quite unexpectedly brought great relief and satisfaction to the lady. Nimonkar also took the hint. Both were thus satisfied. End of quote. It is often said that devotees come to Swami on account of their past merits, of course when the time is ripe. This happened in the Shirdi avatar also, as is well illustrated by the case of Mule, a highly orthodox Brahmin from the holy city of Nasik. It so happened that Mule wanted to go to Shirdi, not to have Baba's darshan, but to meet a friend named Srimant Bapu Sahib Bhutti. So Mule went, met Bhutti and was preparing to return to Nasik. Just then, Bhutti and several other locals were preparing to go to the mosque to have Baba's darshan. For reasons he could not understand, Mule felt an urge to go along with the others and have Baba's darshan in the mosque. Now this Mule was not only well versed in the scriptures but also proficient in astrology and palmistry. When Mule reached the masjid along with Bhutti, Baba was busy distributing prasadam to the devotees gathered there. Prasadam of the day was banana and Baba was giving them away. Someone then said to Baba, this is Mule Shastri of Nasik. Please give him also some prasadam. Baba responded by placing 4 bananas in Mule's hands. Any devotee would have considered that a great blessing, but not Mule. He was not a devotee and had gone there just out of respect to Baba, about whom everyone spoke so highly. As an expert palmist, Mule was more interested in reading Baba's palm. Baba simply brushed Mule aside and asked him to sit down. Thereafter, Mule lost interest in the proceedings. Later, when he returned to his quarters, Mule had a bath to cleanse himself and started on the rigorous rituals he was used to. After a while, the sound of kettle drums was heard, signaling that it was time for the morning arati. A devotee named Bapu Sahib Jog, who was with Mule at that time, suggested that maybe Mule could go along with him to the masjid for the arati. Mule excused himself, saying that he would not go now but attend the afternoon darshan. Meanwhile, back in the masjid where preparations were being made for the arati, Baba gave a command to Bhutti. He said, go and get dakshina from that Brahmin from Nasik who has just arrived. A word here about dakshina for the benefit of those who are not aware of it. Crudely translated, dakshina is something like a service charge given to priests for rites and rituals performed. But the term is also used in a variety of other contexts. For example, one talks of Guru Dakshina. Here, the term means an offering made to the Guru reverentially as an expression of gratitude for all that one has received from the Guru. Shirdi Baba was famous for demanding Dakshina from all sorts of people on all sorts of occasions. There was, of course, more to this drama than mere money collection, but that's a different matter that I shall comment upon elsewhere. To get on with the Mule story, Bhutti, millionaire himself, came to the place where Mule was and conveyed Baba's command. Mule was now in a fix. He wondered, what's the meaning of all this? If Baba wants money, there is this millionaire Bhutti. Why ask me, a poor Brahmin? Moreover, I have started on the sacred ritual. How can I abandon it in the middle and go to the masjid? Nevertheless, he decided to shelve his ritual and go to the masjid. However, he did not enter it and go close to Baba. His orthodoxy prevented him from doing that. He felt that if he went inside, he would get contaminated by the impurity of those present there. I must pause here for a moment before we all start condemning Mule. We must understand we are talking of things that happened over 100 years ago when Brahmin orthodoxy was still very strong. People were still following what had been done for 1,000 years by their ancestors, that's all. Back to Mule. So there he was near the masjid, having suspended his rituals. However, he was still not prepared to go inside and give the dakshina demanded by Baba. Standing at a distance, he offered flowers to Baba. And then a miracle happened. Let us hear about it from Hemat Pant himself. Quote, "And lo, before his eyes a miracle took place. Baba became invisible on his seat. Instead, Mule saw his own revered guru, Golap. Everyone else saw only Sai Samarth as usual, but for Mule's eyes, it was Golapnath who had already taken Samadhi long ago. Mule was astonished beyond words." End of quote. So there it was. To enhance Mule's faith, Baba was revealing himself as none other than Mule's guru. For a moment, Mule was simply swept by what he saw, but then doubts began to rise, the usual problem. Mule now began to wonder whether what he saw was a dream or reality. He pinched himself and found that he was fully awake. He then realized that this was neither a hallucination nor a dream. Slowly, the truth began to sink in. Baba was sending a strong message to Mule that he, that is Baba, was worthy of worship in the place of Mule's old guru, long deceased. Hemat Pant says that at that moment, Mule forgot his orthodoxy, forgot that he was a high caste Brahmin, forgot the conventional prejudices about Baba being of nondescript caste, etc. He rushed forward and fell at Baba's lotus feet. From that day, Mule became an ardent devotee of Shirdi Baba. Hemat Pant adds, quote, "It was the accumulated merit of several births that had come to fruition when Mule had Sai's darshan, and as he bathed in the sacred water that was Sai's feet, he felt that good fortune had smiled upon him." End of quote. How many times have we seen similar incidents in the case of our beloved Swami also? Many came here who were earlier devotees of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, but one look at Swami, they realized that they had reached their ultimate destination. On the other hand, many came, they saw, they followed Swami for a while, and then drifted away into spiritual oblivion. Yes, as Hemat Pant says, it all depends on the merit accumulated in earlier births. For some, it is the end point. For others, it is just a trailer. Next, the story of a village official and a Brahmin doctor who was an ardent devotee of Lord Rama. One day, this village official decided to go to Shirdi and invited the Brahmin doctor to go along with him. By this time, Baba was quite well known, and out of curiosity, the Brahmin doctor agreed to accompany this village official. But he made a stipulation. Baba was a Muslim. This was the way the doctor understood Baba. And therefore he, the Brahmin, would not bow to Baba. The village official assured the doctor that no one would compel him to offer obeisance to Baba and that he need have no fear on that account. So they both went to Shirdi and entered the mosque. And guess what happened? This Brahmin, who had sworn that he would not bow to Baba, was now prostrating at his feet. Later, the village official asked the doctor, "You said you would not prostrate before Baba and yet you did. How come you forgot that Baba was a Muslim?" The doctor replied, "It was Sai Ram, he of dark blue complexion, whom I saw, and at once I bowed to that pure, beautiful, comely figure." One is reminded of the incident recorded by Hislop when once, riding with Swami in a car, he suddenly saw Krishna resplendent in blue, spiritual blue, while the others in the car saw only the physical form of Swami. I can find no better way of wrapping up this talk than by quoting what Hemat Pant says toward the end of the 12th chapter of his book. He says, quote, "Where there is a tender, loving devotion, where there is a fond attachment to Baba, there alone is the manifestation of a true yearning of love. There alone is to be seen a real joy in listening to his story." End of quote. As long as there are people to listen to his story, the sun will not become extinct. Thanks for listening. Jai Sai Ram.
निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश ईश्वरी अवतार, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला.
निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश ईश्वरी अवतार, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला, परी गुरुवर गहिनी केला.
गुरु कृपे विनय कालाही जनी, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना.
गुरुकृपे विनय कालाही जनी, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना, विघू चक्रपाणी भेटला ना.
पंढरी रायाची मनी असल्या आस, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा.
पंढरीरायाची मनी असल्या आस, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा, सद्गुरुची कास दृढ धरा.
गणू म्हणे तया भवाचे न भय,
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 गणू म्हणे तया भवाचे न भय, याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे, याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे, याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे.
गणू म्हणे तया भवाचे न भय, ज्याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे, ज्याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे, ज्याचे चित्ती पाय सद्गुरुचे.
शुक सनकादी नारद अंबरीश, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका.
सनकादी नारद अंबरीश, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका, निवृत्ती ज्ञानेश नाम तुका.
दास तुलसी चोखा जय देव सावता, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो.
दास तुलसी चोखा जय देव सावता, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो, पंतनाथ मेहता कबीर तो.
बोधला